Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome in. It is time for our pregame live chat on Friday. So it's actually not even pregame. It's actually a couple of days beforehand. I'm John Harris. My guys Eric and Jesse and Jared behind the camera. They got all the questions. And actually, we're going to get to a lot of football stuff, okay? But Halloween is next Monday. So I guess we could, this will be our last time before Halloween. So Eric and I are talking. We're talking about baseball, because Eric played baseball in college, and so I'm asking him different things. And Jay said we might have been live on the site, and so I just started talking about anything. And so Eric goes, top 5 Halloween candies. And I know this will cause a debate. I know it's coming. Top 5 Halloween candies, number 1 for me, candy corn. I said it. I'm getting boos from the crowd. Candy corn. Polarizing though that may be, candy corn and the different flavors of candy corn. I mean, the traditional look, you can't beat the traditional candy corn, okay? But the caramel apple candy corn that Brock's did is outstanding. So good. I ate a whole bag by myself after a loss to the Steelers. So just saying, you don't need it just for Halloween. Candy corn, I'm a big fan of Milky Way. Three Musketeers. I'm traditional that way. I'll tell you a good one that my daughter likes that really she's kind of turned me on to is Take Fives. Take Fives are good. Pretzel, caramel, chocolate. It's like the turtles. If you've ever had the chocolate caramel turtles, so good. Kit Kats. Kit Kats are outstanding. And if I got to go the other, look. Like asking me to come up with top 5 candies, I can come up with 50. But anything Sour Patch, I'm good. Sour Patch Kids, gummies, anything like that, I'm good. But I'm telling you, for Halloween, there's something about candy corn I'm putting number 1. And I know you hate that. I know there's some of you sitting there going, oh my God, candy corn is the worst. No. Candy corn is not the worst. Eric, you be quiet. It is not the worst. Candy corn is so good. It's ridiculous. Candy corn. All right, I got to get to football questions. All right.
How do we limit Matthew Stafford from having a big game?
All right, how do we limit Matthew Stafford from having a big game? First of all, feed him a bunch of candy corn and get him fat. That's the first thing you do. I think the biggest thing with Matthew is you've got to show him different looks. Now, he's pretty smart. He's going to figure them out at some point, so you got to vary the looks as you go. But the other thing is, as much as you get back there, hit him. Now, he's tough. He'll handle the hits. But drop 8 into coverage, bring 6. Drop 9 into coverage, rush 2. Whatever. Just show him different things so he doesn't get comfortable. Okay, when I see this look, I know where I'm going with the ball immediately. Now, the thing with Stafford is he's got 3 weapons in Marvin Jones, Anquan Boldin, and Golden Tate, and they hit different levels of the field. So it's hugely important that the secondary stay consistent and stay on point. Golden Tate, know where he likes to run his routes. Marvin Jones likes to go down the field. And then Anquan, although Anquan can't get there as fast as he used to, he's strong. So they're going to get him the football and let him try to make yards after the catch. So you've got to be cognizant of where those guys are on the field. And if they're lined up in certain spots and you know they can't get to their area, then, okay, that's a good thing. But with Stafford himself, you're going to have to disrupt him. And that's the thing. He'll do different things. He'll change the angle of his arm slot. He'll roll right, throw back left. There are a lot of different things he can do. So whatever works in the first quarter may not work in the fourth quarter. So you're going to have to vary it up throughout the game, all 60 minutes. Never think a play is done. Never think the game is done when Stafford's behind center. Those are 2 of the biggest things that you got to be cognizant of. All right, Eric.
What can the Texans do to get the wide receivers going?
What can the Texans do to get the wide receivers going? It's a good one. A lot of this when we talk about the offense or anything offensively, what can the offensive line do better? What can the running game do? All that. It comes back to Brock, and I think we all know that. I think it comes back to Brock feeling more comfortable in the pocket, finding guys on the field, and getting open and getting the football. And I think that's probably the biggest thing about the wide receivers. Know where you need to go and get there as quickly as possible. Simple, right? Now, obviously, there are DBs that will impede that progress. And that's why I say there, know where you need to go and get there as fast as possible, because every team that's faced the Texans has wanted to jam those receivers. Since the Kansas City game, when Marcus Peters and Phillip Gaines spent all day mauling the receivers, and the refs let them get away with it, that's what teams are going to do. And the Lions are going to try and do it against Will Fuller, DeAndre Hopkins, Jalen Strong, etc. They're going to try and maul these guys to the line of scrimmage and throw off the timing because they figure if that buys them a half second for Ziggy Ansah to get to the rush, the better for them. So they're going to try and do that. The other thing you can do, or what you can do with that, some rub routes, some pick routes, same thing really. It's just if you're a defensive guy, it's a pick route. If you're an offensive guy, it's a rub route. But kind of crossing and switch routes, they did that a couple of times against the Broncos, and actually there were a couple of guys open, but they were on the other side of where Brock was looking. So guys need to get to the open spot as quickly as possible and be as physical as possible getting off the line of scrimmage. Do not let the jam disrupt at the line of scrimmage as much as it has been. Now, again, that's Aqib Talib. It's Chris Harris. It's Logan Ryan. It's Malcolm Butler. It's Xavier Rhodes. They face a ton of great corners. They will not see anybody like that on Sunday. And I think that's the first thing. The second thing, get open. Get to your route. Be physical to get to your route. And then catch the football when it's there. And you do that, you got an opportunity to move the football. All right, Eric, next one.
What did you think about the Brock Osweiler fumble and complete pass? A couple of our fans wanted to get your take.
All right. What did I think about the Brock Osweiler fumble? First of all, by definition, it was a fumble because the ball was out of his hands even though he's completing the throw. The action of the throw, not completing the throw. And I'll be honest, I was watching, I was standing right there, and so I was watching, so Brock's over here. I was watching the routes because I was wondering where he was going to go. And he had Steven Anderson a little option route. And it looked like Anderson was breaking open. So I was watching Anderson. So out of the corner of my eye, I could see the ball thrown, or what I think is thrown. And it's a spiral, and it comes up short. So my first thought was, okay, somebody got a hand on it. Because earlier in the season, in preseason, Vince Wilfork tipped a Carson Palmer pass and literally tipped it into a spiral. So I sort of thought that was what would happen again. So I didn't see it right away. But then when they showed it up on the video board, I realized, and you could tell they slowed it down frame by frame, and the ball, right here, the ball was out. And then he completed the throw. So it was complete. It was a fumble. Even though everything looked like, it should have been that way, it was a fumble. And I know Coach talked to the refs and said, hey, maybe he was trying to hold back, or, the flag was for holding, which they picked up, which I don't know how they did that because they did hold Steven Anderson out of his break. So I don't know how you don't, pick that up, or how you pick that up and then give them the ball. So one thing that Chris Harris did, though, I will give them credit for, when the ball is on the ground, you go pick it up. Every single time, you go pick it up because you never know. Chris Harris didn't know. He picked up the ball and he flipped it back on the ground. But because he ran over and picked it up first, by rule and by NFL law, the Broncos ended up getting the ball at that spot. It was definitely a fumble. It was definitely out of his hands. It's just I have never seen a ball come out of his hand, a quarterback's hand like that, be a spiral and it be a fumble. It was just odd. So it was definitely a fumble. But why the back judge picked up the flag on the holding, I have no idea. That I thought was unfortunate. All right, Eric, next one.
Do you think Lamar Miller would play on Sunday? And if not, who steps up in his place? How does that work?
Do I think that Lamar Miller will play on Sunday? I think Lamar's going to give it a go. And if you didn't see the game, the long run that Lamar had in the first quarter, right at the end of the run, he tried to run through Will Parks and collided, and he got hit on his shoulder. And I saw him throughout the game. He was kind of doing this. And whenever you see a guy do that, you're trying to get the feeling back in your arm. So my first thought was it was probably a stinger. And if you know what a stinger is, basically your arm you kind of lose feeling in your arm. And so that's what I think it was. We don't know for sure because shoulder, whatever. Will he be ready? I think so. I think they'll have to take some precautions with him, maybe some fewer carries. But I do think he will play. But if he doesn't, and even if he does, they're still going to have to limit his carries a little bit, which means Alfred Blue will definitely be in the mix. I'd like to see Tyler Ervin get in the mix, but Alfred, other than the fumble, Alfred's run the ball very well the last 2-3 weeks. He has been exactly what this organization wanted from a complimentary running back. He's not the number one guy. We know that's Lamar. But when Alfred's gone in the game, man, he's giving them really good carries, very decisive. He's getting to and through the hole a lot quicker. I think Alfred's really giving them some good reps and some good runs. It's just a matter of got to hang on to the football. And that was unfortunate because Darian Stewart hit right on the football, and it just popped out. And it was unfortunate because Alfred, obviously Texas had a drive, but Alfred was doing a hell of a job running the football at that particular moment. So I hate it for him. But if Lamar, even if he plays, I think that Alfred's going to end up being a pretty significant part of that on Sunday against the Detroit Lions. All right, Eric?
Yes. Keys to victory. Biggest key to victory.
All right, biggest key to victory for the Texans. Number one, offensively, get wide receivers to their spots, get them open, catch the football. Offensively, it's that. Protect up Brock. Make sure that Brock is doing what he needs to do. We got to get going because we got some offensive guys getting on the field here. So we're running out of time. Defensively, never give up on the play and don't give up on the game because you know down the field Matt Stafford can make it happen. And also, alignment, assignment, perfect on defense. All right, we got to roll because the offensive staff is coming in here. I can bring them all over here, but they don't want to go on camera, and I don't blame them. So we'll see you next time, everybody. Appreciate it. Take care.